Hey viewers, my name's Cara. I'm your host for Tuesdays on the Pagan Perspective, and this week we're talking about self-harm in terms of following the Rede. This week's question comes from Cthulhu Chick 666, and they said, I know a number of people who follow the Rede, and they say that the not hurting people extends to yourself, but that hurting yourself when depressed, even if it's not under your control, is against the Rede and thus a kind of sinful. Your opinion? This is a touchy subject, but I do have an opinion. First of all, Rede means advice or guidance. It's not a law, it's just advice that we think we should follow and that we strive to follow. And not harming does begin with yourself. It doesn't make sense to strive not to harm others while you're choosing to harm yourself. You are your most prized possession. The Rede says that if it does no harm, we may do whatever we want, but it doesn't tell us what to do if it will harm, so then we have to use our own judgment and make our own decisions. I think that cases of self-defense, for example, are for the greater good and protecting yourself from further harm, so I think that self-defense is totally permissible under the Rede. If someone is attacking me, I am allowed to retaliate and protect myself, but I am not allowed to go any farther than retaliating against what was given to me. It might mean that I can punch somebody in the face or bite them or something or other to get them away from me, but I can't then seek out revenge, that kind of thing. I'm not sure what you mean by if it's not under your control, because I think if you're not the one doing it, then you can't be blamed for it. So I think I would need a little more explanation. I don't know if you mean a psychological case of I can't help it because really you can, or if it's someone else making you hurt yourself, in which case, the latter case, I don't think would be your fault at all. There's obviously something else going on there that you can't be blamed for. But in cases where you are doing the thing on purpose and of your own free will, I do think that's going against the advice of the Rede, and it's contradictory to the lifestyle that people who follow the Rede would like to live. For example, staying in an unhealthy relationship is harmful to you. The Rede would advise you to get out of that situation. Eating an unhealthy diet is harmful. Following the Rede would advise that you seek a more healthy, balanced lifestyle. Smoking is harmful to you. We all know this. Do some pagans smoke? Yes. Do some people who follow the Rede smoke? Probably, but if they're really following the advice of the Rede, they would be trying to quit. Some people choose to do it anyway, and they just kind of forget that part of the Rede, and that's totally their choice too, but to me, stuff like that is included. If you are knowingly harming yourself, it's against the advice of the Rede, but again, it's just a guideline. Pirates of the Caribbean. So here's the tricky part. I know that self-harm in terms of depression is a whole nother level of difficulty. I do not think that you are sinful or wrong for doing it, because there are obviously so many other things that you have to deal with. Worrying about whether you're being sinful is just going to pile that on top of it, and it's not going to help. Worrying about that kind of thing does not help you heal and become more comfortable with yourself, and that is what the Rede advises you to do. Following the Rede would mean that you are striving to get past these harmful actions and into an area of life where you are able to love yourself first. The Rede does not say, in my opinion, that those people are evil or bad, just that they're out of balance and should be working towards that better result. And I think everyone would be doing that. I don't think anyone wants to be in that situation, and certainly no one else wants you to harm yourself. To use an example, there was a blog post I read by a girl who said that whenever she started studying Wicca again, on and off, whenever she started studying Wicca, she started harming herself. So she turned to Christianity, and Christianity allowed her to love herself and stop harming herself. That is great for her, and I am absolutely thrilled that she found a way to make it work and get out of that situation. However, I did also reply to her, and I told her that there's no reason that following Wicca should steer her towards self-harm, because the Rede advises towards a more healthy, balanced lifestyle, and the Rede kind of doesn't approve of that sort of thing. So it's the same answer to anyone else in that situation, like I told her. The Rede is advice. You shouldn't have to feel extra bad and worry about if you're sinning or anything like that, because that's certainly not going to help you get through this time in your life. But I do think that a person who follows the Rede and also is going through this should be striving to overcome it. And that is the difference to me. Like I said, I think most people in this situation are trying really hard to overcome it, and I don't think that you can blame them while they're going through it if they're honestly trying to get through it. And I feel that Personally, for me, a religion that follows the Rede, or just any lifestyle that chooses to adopt the Rede for itself, is a really positive one, and I think that it is a really good way to gradually work out of it. We all go through stuff. We all do, I promise you. You guys know that I've had a tough year, too, and I'm getting better. It was never to the extreme for me that I would harm myself, but I think that's also a lot because I already have this kind of philosophy in my lifestyle where I don't want to hurt myself. I mean, there are things like punching walls and banging your head against a wall that aren't so hot either, and I've been guilty of those things at times, but you get yourself back under control, you get back on that track that you follow that advice that you choose to live, and you get past it. So whether it's you or a friend, Wiccan or not, I think that's advice that we can all follow. You are your most prized possession, and you need to keep going and get out of it. Keep yourself safe and love yourself. And I love you, and I want you to do better. I want you to be happy. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. Blessed be. I mean that. Be blessed. Thank you.